Charlotte Flair last night, Monday Night Raw, a new record set for fastest heel turn. What we saw last night with Charlie, that was bad, sad, embarrassing, and just brutal. And it never should have happened. What we saw with Charlotte Flair last night was the inevitable. It's the exact definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. On this channel, for years now, I have laid out for you exactly what's going to happen every time Charlie comes back from a hiatus. Every single time. She'll come back to the hero's welcome because they haven't seen the wrestler in a while, so they give you a big pop. And I always tell you, if you wait 2 weeks, just 2 weeks for somebody like Charlotte, they're already going to start to receive the boos. They're already going to start to switch it up because they're going to feel the heat. And Charlie will instantly turn heel after just 2 weeks. Once she starts hearing those boos, her promo switches up, even if it's not even in the script. And then everything is more off the rails than it already was. And it's a vicious cycle. And then that massive disconnect between the audience and Charlie Flair, it gets even wider. The last time Charlie came back from hiatus, you remember what I told you? I said, give it 2 weeks. You're going to start to hear the boos because people are going to grow tiresome of the same old robotic promos and the same rocket ship that she has always been getting from day one from the machine that many fans feel is unwarranted. Just 2 weeks, I told you. You'll start to hear those boos loud. I was wrong, though. That last hiatus, it only took 1 week. The very next SmackDown, she was already getting those boos. And you remember what she was doing? It was so sad to listen and watch. You almost felt bad for Charlie, right? Because during that promo, when she last came back, she was pleading with the audience, guys, please, I'm trying to be serious. And they continued to boo. She was pleading with the audience to try to give a face promo. And she had to ask the audience not to boo so that she could cut the promo. I mean, if that's not rock bottom, if that's not the time where the company has to switch it up, man, I don't know if there ever would be a time. But Hunter Hearst Helmsley refused to take that hint. Hunter Helmsley refused to listen to the audience. He remained defiant and he did not change. So this year's Rumble, here's Charlie. In less than 10 minutes at number 27, she wins the whole damn thing. Because their way of thinking is if we always bring Charlotte right back to a big title win or a Royal Rumble victory or something huge, it's not enough time for the fans to boo. They're still giving her their hero's welcome. It's the day she's back. But this was a new record last night. It didn't even take 1 week for those boos to set in. Just 2 nights later, last night, Monday Night Raw. 2 nights after the Rumble. Boos instantly. And just as sad as she looked at that crowd, and 3 times last night, she said, guys, I love you. I love you guys. And the more she said, I love you guys, the more they booed her. That's why I say bad, sad, embarrassing, and brutal. Thank goodness. This is my brutality. Rhea Ripley's theme music hit because our brutality was watching the same old Charlotte booking for 10 years. And not one thing has changed. It was the one thing last night, it dawned on me, it's the one thing we all unanimously hold Hunter accountable for. Finally, it's not just BC going, this booking is utter trash. We all came together and said, what is Hunter Hearst Helmsley doing? You can't possibly book like this with that star-studded Royal Rumble for those ladies. There's Julia in there, there's Roxy, there's Jordan Grace. Alexa Bliss had the biggest pop of that women's Rumble. And all these other females. From old school to new, the Trish Stratuses, the Nikki Bellas, everybody's in there. Charlie waltzes in at 27, wins the whole damn thing, and 2 nights later, the fans are telling you, no thanks. You botched an entire Rumble match. A winner. A lady that could have been catapulted from that victory. And you wasted it again on somebody that is clearly not connecting with the majority of the crowd. And the company refuses to bat an eyelash. They don't even care about what we are trying to say. For 5 straight years, when they forced Roman Reigns as a face, we tried to tell them there's talent. We're not telling you to fire the dude, but he's got to be switched up. This is not working. Like Rocky Maivia didn't work. Like Ringmaster Steve Austin didn't work. Like Isaac Yankem DDS did not work. Finally, they switched Roman up, and wow, who would have thought we were right all along? Switch him up, let him get a personality, let him be more free. The tribal chief was born. It's not rocket science. We're trying to help. We're not just when the red light goes on and the mic is fired up. We're not just being negative to be negative, bitching, moaning, and complaining and ranting just to hear ourselves talk. We're trying to make wrestling great again. We're trying to help these companies. BC, am trying to help Hunter Helmsley or a Tony Khan or the promoter at the local bingo hall, Luigi Lugnuts. I'm trying to help. But if they're not going to listen, then nothing can ever possibly change. And if there's enough people blowing smoke up Hunter Hearst Helmsley's ass, he'll never truly change. The guy probably thinks he's truly cooking because enough people tell him his booking is flawless when it's anything but. So then we get to a moment like this where there's no way Charlie can just come back after being gone all of last year, waltz in at 27, and in less than 10 minutes take the main event of WrestleMania or the big title match. Did you honestly think she was not going to get booed instantly? Because if Hunter truly thought that, he'd be the only person on the planet, because I've been telling my audience, because we do not sugarcoat, we do not bullshit on this channel. I've been telling my audience, this is the Charlie Flair vicious cycle nonstop. I have never lied to my audience about that, and last night it was once again amplified truth. There's Charlie Flair, and it's not even just getting booed, right? Hey, at least it's a reaction. It is sad at this point. It's embarrassing. You almost feel bad for her. Pleading and begging for the audience to stop booing last time. And then this past Monday night, last night, she's telling them, I love you. I love you guys, man. And they're booing her. No matter what they do, it ain't going to work. You have to take everything off the table and start over. Like you did with Roman. It's not just a heel turn that's going to save this, because Charlie Flair has turned face and heel 95 times, right up there with Big Show and Kane. Doesn't work. You have to do a complete rehaul. This isn't even just Charlie losing a bunch of matches in a row or just staying away from the title for 6 months or 9 months. No, because that's a try hard. We can see right through that it's painful that you guys have to even do that type of booking. You should have fun with it. Give Charlie storylines that have nothing to do with a title, nothing to do with a main event, and let her whole shine. Let it prosper organically. And if it never does, then it was never going to be anyway. It's sink or swim sometimes, and sometimes the company chooses somebody to be the person, and sometimes it just doesn't work. It's sad to say, Charlotte Flair doesn't seem to be working. All these wrestlers have fan bases, that's great. I'm a Jinder Mahal fan. That doesn't mean Mahal should be winning Rumbles and WrestleMania main eventing. No, you could be a fan of something, but still know that this is being rejected. And they don't even care to change it. And at this point, I'm sure they don't even know how to change it. So then Charlie goes out there and she just has to kind of wing it to where the audience is going. If they're really cheering you, stick with your promo of being a face. And if they start to boo you, okay, start to throw some zingers back, and then we'll just turn you heel. So here we are. She's already being booed. How is this fun for WrestleMania? I can already tell you guys, it's not. We've played this over and over and over for 10 Years. And last night was just another one of those awkwardly sad, embarrassing moments. But I love you guys. Fuck you, is what the audience responded with. That was hard to watch. Again, I almost felt bad for her. Almost. But when you do it this many times, and I used to say, well, it's not even just Charlie's fault, it's Vince's fault, it's Hunter's fault for booking her this way. No. This many times, you now have a say by now. You can say, dude, do not bring me back to win this Rumble. Absolutely not. But you see, what wrestler is going to do that, man? Their value's not going to go down if the machine wants to book them in the top spots. The problem is, the value is going down whether she likes it or not with this type of booking. This is going to be more detrimental for Charlie in the long run. There's no amount of title victories that are going to accumulate to make people in 20 years go, she was one of the greatest, because you're not going to have that feeling. You can try to manufacture shit all you want. Unless it's a genuine feeling, you'll never have it. They could have gave Stone Cold 100 championships. If Stone Cold wasn't giving us that feeling, it would have meant nothing. But no, he did. Stone Cold amplified everybody. The titles are an afterthought. When you think Stone Cold, you don't go, whoa, man, he had like a bunch of titles. You don't even think titles with Stone Cold. You remember how that dude made you feel. You don't remember the titles with The Undertaker. You remember how that dude made you feel. If you got to remember championships with Charles Flair, that's a problem. That wasn't just the fans turning on her. It wasn't just the same old, and the robotic promo. This was one of those really sad, embarrassing, brutal moments. It was right up there with pleading for the audience to stop booing so she can get through her promo last time. This time was just as bad. I love you guys. And they boo. I won't say they don't love you back, but they surely don't like your booking. This is one of those occasions where finally we came together as a community and said, wow, Hunter Hearst Helmsley brutally botched this booking decision. And I can't even say it's his first time. I don't know what this company's fascination is with Charles Flair being the person, but you have a wealth of talent on your roster. From NXT to the main roster, whether it's the red brand, the blue brand, and anything in between. You have so much potential. I don't know why you're having one lady block all 4 lanes of the highway. Charles Flair. And they just, if you're wondering, they just teased her and Rhea Ripley. We believe it's going to be Charlie and Tiffany, which isn't much better because Tiffany just got that title last month. And Tiffany has not had any real prestigious title reign yet in that month. And in 2 months, she's going to drop it right over to Charlie. So she's just transitional to get it over to Charlie is what it looks like. And the only other avenue you could go is what they teased last night, Rhea and Charlie, which is another rematch of a rematch. And we're already getting that with Gunther and Jey Uso. We'll talk all about that in this review, Raw 2/3/25, the amplified review. Jey Uso Gunther rematch of a rematch at WrestleMania, just like Rhea and Charlotte would be. And when the show went off the air last night, they teased Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, a match we have seen 941 times. That's an accurate statement. 941 times. Do you guys remember a few years ago? They actually said, because they had wrestled each other so many times and fans were starting to complain. Now you're thinking Sami and KO do good matches, right? They put on good matches. So it takes a lot for the fans to go, all right, dude, enough of these rematches. But it happened. So they actually had to put it in a storyline. They're like, all right, but this is going to be the last time we're going to wrestle. We're going to fight. And that was a couple of years ago. They had to put that in a storyline. Guys, here we are in 2025. And Kevin Owens is ending Monday Night Raw, the Netflix era. And he is taking out Sami Zayn, planting the seeds and setting up a Sami Zayn Kevin Owens WrestleMania match? You're going to do a Fatal 4, a triple threat? Why is Kevin Owens taking out Sami Zayn in 2025? Why are they even in the same ring? Why would anybody need to see that match for a 942nd time in 2025 at WrestleMania 42? This is just what we're getting. This is Hunter Hearst Helmsley's booking. And WrestleMania, unfortunately, it just gets even worse every year. He picks the grandest stage to put on his grandest botch booking. This is Hunter Helmsley in a nutshell. So far for WrestleMania, a bunch of rematches are being teased. I don't know how anybody can truly be excited about WrestleMania this year. I really don't. If you are more, I mean, salute. I want to. Every year, man, I get excited for the season. I'm hoping for the best. And with Hunter, it's just getting somehow. I can't even believe I'm saying this because under Vince, it was so bad for years. I mean, bad. This is a whole new level of unacceptable. Like when Raw went off the air last night, and now it's officially WrestleMania season. And I thought, what just happened, man? Like, we just booed Charlotte for 10 minutes. We yeeted for 15 minutes. And Sammy and KO are ending the show like it's 2017. Guys, this is the Raw review for 2/3/25. I already had a lot to say in this cold open. This was basically a review in itself. So I don't know. I might have a lot to say. And listen, it's only a 1-pager, 1.5 pager of notes. That's never good. Usually it should be a page per hour, 2.5 hours, should be 2.5 pages. That tells you this show was garbage. And it's WrestleMania season. There are no more mulligans to give out. So as expected, Jason Uso starts this show off. And that's real quick. I have to say one more thing on the Charlie thing. That's another thing, man. You know it's bad because this was Cleveland. I did a live stream right before Raw last night. I asked where it was. You guys said, BC, it's in Cleveland. I said, oh boy, it's going to be a lot of kids dragging their families out. Guys, there could be a lot of yeeting. I said that before Raw. Check out the live stream. I said, there's going to be a lot. So I asked you guys, I said, is it going to be 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes of yeeting? Because there's going to be a lot, especially coming off the Rumble victory. Cleveland, all the kids, the families. I mean, they're coming out. They're spending a lot of money for those tickets. This is a crowd that is going to be buying all the merchandise. They're going to be screaming, this is awesome, every match. Whenever there's a break in every match, the ADD will kick in, and they'll start chanting, this is awesome. They're going to be yeeting for 20 minutes. I mean, this is a crowd that wants to participate throughout. And for them to instantly boo you, that's got to be bad. When Cleveland, the kids and the families are like, oh no, her? That's bad, man. That's really bad because Cleveland was willing to give everybody a chance last night, man. They were willing to chant, you deserve it to everybody, bro. You heard the opposite of you deserve it for Charlie. I would have it would have been hilarious if just a you don't deserve it chant broke out. Could you imagine? That would finally maybe wake Hunter up. But this is one of those things where you're in Cleveland, man, and even Charlie was getting booed instantly. It dawned on me, man. I had to mention that because Jey Uso started this and legit for 10 minutes. We just started the show with 10 minutes of yeeting. And McAfee this is a true story, and this is why this is it's going to be nauseating. Going forward, this is absolutely going to be nauseating because McAfee is going to be the clown that he always is during this yeeting. He is literally on the table and he is screaming, and I quote, I'm about to climax with all this yeeting. And Michael Cole responds with, well, I think we climax at the Rumble when he yeeted after his Rumble victory. True story. This is what we're going to put up with, guys. Like you're back in middle school. I'm yeeting all over the place and I'm about to climax. That's why I say if you're an adult if you're an adult period, if you're over the age of 10 and this is your cup of coffee, salute, man. Honestly, I don't even know. I mean, enjoy the ride then. Because for a lot of, I hope you're not shocked why a lot of us, at least adults, this yeeting thing and the whole charade that we have to do every single Monday night, and every time this dude is out there, 20 minutes of this shit, 15 bare minimum, and Michael Cole and Pat McAfee just acting like school children. I'm yeeting, Michael. I'm climaxing. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? And we have to do this 2 months at least just so Hunter can get his Kofi Mania moment, try to have his own personal yes movement, so he can get the visual, right? Maybe get it in People Magazine and Sports Illustrated. Everybody will be like, wow, tens of thousands yeeted at WrestleMania last night during Jey Uso's title victory. To which most people reading will go, Jey who? What the Uso? Yes, that's right. It's 2020. He's at the top. Yeah, that's right. We went Hulk Hogan. We went Undertaker. We went Rock, Stone Cold, Jey Uso. We did it. That's right. And just like Kofi, because they won't know how to book anyway, so just like Kofi Mania, it'll burn out faster than a fucking mini candle. And it'll all be just a distant memory. But for now, we all have to yeet and watch Pat McAfee climax all over these arenas, according to what he is saying every single week. Yeah, that's why a lot of us, when that dude won that Rumble, said, oh, nah, brah, because we were thinking ahead, and we were thinking of this exact booking. None of this all of this could easily be done in the mid-card, or on the house show, the dark matches. We didn't even need to see this. That's all we did. If you were there in attendance and you were maybe you put party hats on and you yeeted for 15 minutes. If you were at home, we were like, oh boy, we got to watch this again. It's as nauseating as Sethington's sing-along, where I usually have to mute the TV. It's almost getting to that point. And then we finally stop. And Jay's like, he's emotional or just trying to, he's never been the greatest on the mic. I actually like Jay. If you're new to the channel, my favorite tag team, Jimmy and Jey Uso. They are. Singly, no thank you. No thanks. They do nothing for me singly. When the bell rings, I'm beyond bored. But he's trying to find the words. It's taking forever. And with these crowds, I call them, it's like those that have like this disorder of attention. Like if there's a pause, if there's a break, if there's a moment of silence, anything like that, they get antsy. So crowds today, you can't have like silence because they will start to do things. Like if you watch a wrestling match, after just 4 minutes, if both wrestlers are laying down, taking a pause, giving it a beat, the crowd will feel like they need to chant, "This is awesome." I'm like, guys, it's only 4 minutes in, bro. No, it's not. Relax. So Jay's like not saying anything. The crowd finally dies down, and then all of a sudden you hear one more time, and I'm like, no, don't say that, because that means do the yeeting again. So sure enough, the music starts to play, and here we go with another 2 minutes. After 10 minutes, 2 more minutes of yeeting. So then it finally stops. Guys, if you didn't watch the show, I'm giving you, this is exactly what happened, man. So then the music stops. Jay still will not say anything. 2 more minutes of Jay not saying a damn word. But you see, he was super emotional. Okay, can we be emotional and like say something? Just like something, because they're going to start chanting again, man. Like, we'll never get through the rest of the night. And no, a lot of us, dare I say most of us, are not looking forward to Jey Uso Gunther Part 86 at WrestleMania. No, thank you. No, because the truth is, most of us were not excited for this 2 weeks ago when they went into Saturday night's main event. less than 2 weeks ago. Nobody cared about that match, and that was Saturday night's main event. You think we're going to care about WrestleMania? Now they're putting it on a grander stage? So no, we just want this done with. But the segment just won't stop. He won't say anything. So then all of a sudden you start to hear, it took a minute, but here we go. You deserve it. You deserve it. Yes, everybody that laces up boots and goes into that ring deserves it. We understand. The chant no longer holds any weight or significance. Once you started chanting that when Nia Jax won her last title, dude, it was rendered dead. It's DOA at that point. Braun Breaker wins his IC championship, and we start chanting, you deserve it. No, he hasn't even been there for a sip of coffee. Gunther, every title he wins, you deserve it. He's barely been there for a cup of coffee. Everybody deserves it. If Chad Gable won, we would have claimed it. If LA Knight won, if it's Xavier Woods, we get it. Everybody on the roster deserves it. We don't need to waste 4 minutes of every television show telling the wrestlers, hey, we're giving you a participation trophy. Right? The second you started doing that chant for Nia Jax and Braun Breaker and everybody in between, dude, is the moment that it lost all its meaning. That chant no longer even holds prestige. So we say, you deserve it, right? The crowd is screaming that at Jey Uso. I think they did it a couple of times, correct? I think there was a couple of you deserve it chants. Yes, because then he paused again, didn't say a word for a couple more minutes. And then, so the crowd is like, we got to do something. We got to chant more. You deserve. And then we did it again. Finally, he's like, thank you guys, and everybody goes ballistic. You're welcome. And then Gunther comes out and says that CM Punk, John Cena, Roman Reigns, they all would have been a better main event. Beating you at WrestleMania does literally nothing for my resume. And it was almost like I half laughed. And I half felt bad for Jey Uso because it was all just true, right? It's everything that most of us are saying. Like, what are you doing, dude? Gunther versus John Cena is the match. But even if you did Punk or somehow got could you imagine Roman going for? That'd be interesting. I feel Roman's done everything with this stupid bloodline thing. Revisit Fatu in the future when Fatu's ready to rock out, because I think you could do a lot more with him before you even get to those type of main events. I didn't even think like switching Roman up and Roman Gunther and Roman claiming this whole new I don't know. You could do so many things, but they chose Jason Uso. And a lot of fans, for a lot of us, including BC, it's anticlimactic, guys. It just is. And Gunther comes out and just calls it out. He's just like, dude, you're not even, this isn't even a main event for Mania. This is stupid. And all Uso says in response is, yo, Us, nah, man, aren't you tired? And Gunther's like, what are you talking about? No, I haven't wrestled in 85 weeks. Actually, he did have the Saturday night's main event. Other than that, last week, he barely shows up. But he's like, no, what are you talking about? And then he looks at everyone else. He goes, aren't you all tired? Because I know I'm tired. Nobody knows what this guy's talking about. And again, Jey Uso, the promo's never been his strongest suit. So it takes him a second to get to where he's getting at. And then he looks at the hard cam. So this is Hunter telling him, make sure, because if you know Jey Uso, he does not do things like this. He doesn't work the mic like that. This was strategic. He was told, when you deliver these lines, look at that hard cam. And he looks at the hard cam and he goes, I'm tired of everybody telling me I'm just a tag team guy, or I can't win the Rumble, and I shouldn't be in Mania. And just all of the talking points that everybody has been pretty furious about, actually, because the booking was so bad at the Rumble. But furious that we're getting Jey Uso and Gunther again at Mania of all paper. I mean, that's a Saudi Arabia matchup at best. Raw and SmackDown, I would still go outside and pick up a bad habit instead of watching that. So he's trying to be like, man, he's trying to use that in a promo, right? Like, yeah, everybody's claiming like I'm just a tag team guy and this and that, but I'm going to win that championship at Mania. Bro, we're all tired of this trash booking. We're all tired of the fact that we have to watch Jey Uso versus Gunther, and this time at Mania, the grandest stage. Nobody cared about it a week and a half ago at Saturday night's main event, and now we're supposed to care about it on the biggest stage of them all. That's what we're tired of. We're tired of spending 20 minutes every single show yeeting. That's what we're tired of, man. If we're talking about being tired of this. But he looked right at the hard cam and he made a point to, no, man, just everyone just relax. I'm going to win that title. I'm not just a tag team guy. Well, you're better in the tag team, so you are. Some people are better in tag teams than they are singly. That's just the way it is, man. It sucks. I understand. Marty Jannetty, I always give this example. He's so good, right? One of the best wrestlers you could actually watch in that ring. So flawless and so awesome to see. But he just doesn't check off every single box. It's unfortunate. Marty Jannetty was better in a tag team. Shawn Michaels, no. Shawn Michaels flourishes. Checks off every box. There's just so many individuals where I use Jim the Anvil Neidhart. He was just better with Bret Hart. He just was. Jason Uso and Jimmy Uso just work better together. That's a fact. I know this because I watched them with a keener eye than most. They're my favorite tag team in the industry. So I thought if they split up, I'll still continue to support them to the next level. And I did when they first split up. When they had their WrestleMania match a couple years ago, I thought that's going to be one of the best Mania matches of all time. And when it was all said and done, it may be one of the worst. Doesn't work. To the point where a lot of fans are now calling Jey Uso the 3 moves of doom. That's even less moves than Jonathan Cena at 5, according to my Steiner math. So yeah. That's a problem. You can look at the hard cam and you can try to clap back at the fans that have concerns and frustrations over this type of trash booking. But it's not going to work. And what Gunther said is true. This match holds no stock. And the fact that they had Gunther say that and try to put that into the storyline tells you everything you need to know. That never should have even been a talking point backstage to put into the promo. But they're trying to bring the realism into it, right? This is what everybody's saying, so let's use it in the promo. That's not always going to be the quick fix. Oh, they used the real life situation. Okay, so it's good now, guys. We're good. At least they acknowledged it. How about don't do it? He tells Gunther he's going to win the title at Mania. Cool story, bro. We didn't give a shit about this going into Saturday night's main event a week and a half ago, and now we're expected to give one iota about this at WrestleMania. Okay. If this was booked better, maybe, right? Let's once again, just like we did at the top of the program, and we held Hunter Hearst Helmsley accountable for it. Let's once again do that. Because we all can agree, I'm sure, that the booking of this is what is the worst part about it. If this was just their first meeting, if this was the plan, which it should have had, you should have had plans all along for months now. You should have had a plan for that world title. But he just had this match randomly and then had it again just a week and a half ago just to have Jey and lose clean, mind you, at Saturday night's main event, lose clean. And looking up at the lights, and then a week and a half later win the Rumble and plant the seeds for another match at Mania. Why have them face each other several times? Why have Jey lose like that? And that's supposed to get people excited. It's ass backwards booking. No thought is going into this. Hunter is doing things to do them and then just adjusting on the fly. The problem was he's not good at adjusting on the fly. Some people are. Some people, when they have to adjust on the fly, make even worse decisions, and 2 wrongs don't make a right. So I'm not even levying this blame on Jey Uso. Do your thing, sell your merchandise, make that money, get it all. Hunter Helmsley booking it this way is why over half the fan base is mind-boggled that this is the match we're getting for Mania. It's because Hunter booked it wrong. He botched it. And the more we can just be honest about how Hunter is he does this all the time. then maybe at some point in the future we can get real change for the better. But we have to be honest about it. Botch the Charlotte thing, we all know that. But more of us has to absolutely, even if you love the Jey Uso thing, at least you can admit the way this was all booked was botched. And that's by Hunter Helmsley. You can at least admit that. Even if you're okay with Jey and Gunther at Mania. You can at least see why people are mind-boggled, why people are frustrated with it. It's because Hunter booked it this way. It's unjustified. It's unacceptable. So that was the whole first half an hour of the show, guys. That's why we spent a minute on it. And of course, I have a lot to say about it because we're still here. We are days after the Rumble, and it's amazing that this is what they're really going with, Gunther and Jey Uso. Jey said, I'm going to show up to SmackDown just to holla at Cody, but I'll be right back here Monday because he already chose Gunther, man. But they always do this where they show up on the other show, just have a little promo. And so SmackDown, we can yeet for 25 minutes. Maybe Wade Barrett will get on the table and try to yeet in the front row. And we'll do this for months, guys. We'll do this. Every show, we'll just yeet for 20 minutes, man. It's a party! First matchup of the night, Penta defeats Ludwig Kaiser. This is where we're probably going to go fast on this. The rest of the show, just like the first segment. I mean, nothing of substance. Penta defeats Ludwig Kaiser. And post-match, Pete Dunne comes to the ring. If you missed the show, if you're thinking, is this going to get exciting? What's PC about to say? Penta defeats Ludwig. And then Petey Dunne, Little Butch, he comes to the ring. And I think Ludwig attacked Penta from the distraction. Something like that. So Pete Dunne and Penta are going to have a... You went from Chad Gable and Penta to Petey Dunne and Penta. Chad Gable and Penta to Pete. This is what I mean. You're going backwards. As weeks progress, as these shows go on, as you get closer to pay-per-views, you're supposed to progress storylines, progress anticipation and excitement. Pete Dunne and Penta is what's being... Is that what we're paying for? Mania? Is this just for next week's Raw? Moving on. Charlie Flair ends hour number 1. I've already said a lot about this, so I'm going to breeze by this. But because it is this part of the show, I am going to re-emphasize how bad this was, how sad this was, how embarrassing this was, and how brutal this was. Charlie comes out, and she is booed instantly. As I always tell you guys, this is where she gets fluttered. Her self-esteem kind of gets rocked, even to this day. And even if she's supposed to stay with a face promo, she will turn on the fly and she'll just start clapping back. And it never makes it better. There's ways to do it where you're playing it up in a fun way. And then there's ways where it's just embarrassingly sad. It's almost like you feel bad for her. Like when she says things like last time, like, guys, I'm trying to be serious. Please let me get through this, as they're booing her. Or last night where she's saying, I love you guys, and they keep booing her. This was one of those things where they just booed her instantly, and she's telling them she loves them, and they keep booing her. And then all of a sudden, she starts to awkwardly turn heel. She's like, whether you love me or hate me, I am the queen, and I'm going to win another championship because I'm the best of the best. And I'm like, I don't even know what is happening? These promos are off the rails. Who thinks this formula is a good idea? Hunter Helmsley, obviously. And I know how much he loves Charlotte Flair, but he's got to stop. Hunter loves Flair, the Flairs, Charlie Flair. I understand. Dude, you can't just play to your favorites, right? You got to stop. You can't do this type of booking, Hunter. It is detrimental. If you truly love Charlotte Flair, you got to pull back the reins, man. And we're not talking Roman. We're talking Charlie's reins. Pull them back. This is getting sad. People are almost feeling bad for her. And maybe that's what, sentimentally, they'll start cheering for you, Charlotte. That's the whole plan, right? Give the sentimental, man. Poor Charlotte. I don't know. It's so bad, man. And it's a vicious, we just do this every time she's about to come back. I tell my audience, get ready, guys. This is going to be the cycle. And every single time, I am right. And I don't even give myself a pat on the back because I do not want to be in those instances, but I am. Charlotte Flair told him she loves them several times to no effect. Instant heel Charlie is once again upon us. It's just another massive Helmsley botch. You guys are seeing a running theme here, right? Helmsley is lost creatively, but around WrestleMania season, something happens, and he totally just short circuits. And we see some of the worst booking I've ever seen in professional wrestling around WrestleMania from Hunter Helmsley. Rhea Ripley comes out, right, to end everybody's brutality. This is my brutality. Here comes Rhea Ripley. And they just tease a matchup. We think it's going to be Charlie and Tiffany. Charlotte says, I am going to show up to NXT tonight. And then I am going to show up to SmackDown and see all the champions. Because she says, this doesn't even interest me. This doesn't even excite me. Another match with you. So if they do go Rhea and Charlotte, that's not a good start. Just like Gunther telling Jey Uso, this does nothing. This isn't even a marquee match. It's like so brutally honest, it's sad. And Charlotte's like, this does nothing. And it doesn't. But they teased it last night. Rhea and Charlotte, another matchup. Let's move on, because we just like Charlie's booking, we can go round and round in a vicious cycle, but my words are not going to change, just like Charlotte's booking is not going to change. Hour number 2, New Day versus Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio. For the second time in the night, Michael Cole made a reference to too many selfish people in WWE. He said this earlier, and I felt that it wasn't proportionate for the segment that was on. It was like a line that was deliberately for something or someone. And I was thinking the first line was for Drew McIntyre earlier, but he made reference to how there's so many selfish people or something like that. But I felt that was like the whole Drew story that we've been hearing about and how he was pissed off at the Rumble. And I tell you guys more context in that. Yesterday's live stream, check it out. I tell you guys exactly why. And why it could end up being a good thing if everybody's able to sit down and do business for WrestleMania. But there was a second time where Michael Cole made reference, and it was during this New Day Dragon Lee Rey Mysterio match. And Michael Cole said, this may be a slight paraphrase, but he said something, this time around, he said something to the effect of the New Day being selfish jerks. Something like that, selfish jerks. And how there's a lot of those in WWE lately. And he name dropped a lot of like DIY and a bunch of names, but randomly. And at the very end, he throws out Vic Joseph's name. Of course, Joseph is just an NXT play-by-play guy. Joseph has pissed off nobody. He's a good dude. Michael Cole thinks the world of him. That's why he has that spot. He just throws Vic Joseph for being like a selfish jerk. It dawned on me. That had to have been meant for Corey Graves. Like he's just listing people. And then at the very end, Vic Joseph from NXT's commentary table. Nah. Corey Graves, man. So there is still something very off there. Booker T was just asked about that. And is everything cool with you and Corey? Because now you're sitting at that table. Booker gave, like he always does, a very honest answer. Nope, we're not cool at all. In fact, he said at some point, somewhere down the line, we're probably going to have to talk about that. I'm probably going to have to say something. So that's a cold commentary table. And that's tonight, too. That show, guys, that's tonight. You talk about an awkward situation. Booker right here, Vic in the middle, and Corey at the other end. And Booker's telling you, dude, we're not cool at all. We don't talk. And you know Corey's not happy with that position. He said that. And Michael Cole making this weird reference and throwing Vic Joseph's name out there. Something's not... I'm going to be on the lookout for that man tonight. We'll see how that 3-man booth is for NXT. Anyway, back to this matchup. New Day wins. Logan Paul was out there doing complete bullshit. I don't even know what Logan Paul was doing. He was playing around with Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. I think this is to set up an EC qualifier for next week. Elimination Chamber qualifier with Rey and Logan. Still, I mean, Logan, you have a Logan Paul appearance. You have a date where Logan is there, which is not always the case, right? Those are very few and far in between. And that's how you wasted it with Ray and Dragon Lee. It was so bad, I almost didn't even put Logan Paul in my notes because this was nothing. I should have just left it at New Day 1. And Rey and Dragon Lee lose a match. Liv Morgan defeats Io Sky via DQ to advance in the Elimination Chamber. This was a qualifier. Again, Morgan defeats Io. Raquel and Ripley were outside of the ring and they were throwing bows. And Rhea, I believe it was Rhea, she inadvertently clocked Io, and that kind of cost her the match. So after the match, Io is pissed off at Rhea. Rhea doesn't really care. But the bottom line is Liv Morgan defeats Io, and she ends up advancing. So, all right. I mean, there's not much more I can say, man. I like Liv. I like Io. They should have fun booking going into Mania, and this is just... I don't feel anything. Them going into a chamber match. Okay, now for a month, we just hear about the chamber match itself, and then that only leaves 1 month for storylines. So I just wish that things were more ignited at this point. With most of these talents. They're just not. So we're just seeing random qualifiers. Seth Rollins promo. Dude looked kick-ass. I truly mean that. Cowboy Undertaker, I was calling him. No joke. That's his look. I dug it. He trashes CM Punk. He trashes Roman Reigns. And then he asks Sami Zayn to the ring. He gives Sami an awkward hoorah speech to beat CM Punk. And then he takes off. As he's going up the ramp, CM Punk is coming out for his Elimination Chamber qualifier against Sami Zayn. And as Rollins and Punk cross one another, they start trading jabs and going to blows. That ends up being broken up. When we come back from break, we have the main event, which is the Elimination Chamber qualifier, Punk and Zayn. Punk pins Zayn via GTS. Pinfall. Cena and Punk is up there on the graphic for the Elimination Chamber. And it's just once again a huge reminder as to how massive Hunter has botched WrestleMania. Punk, Cody, you set it up beautifully last Monday. Cena, Gunther, do the deed. Gunther's going to gain a lot of victory in defeat, and Cena will have that massive 17th championship at Mania over the person he's supposed to, Gunther. But no. Uso wins because of the yeeting, and now everything is thrown off. So now it's either Cena or Punk, and one of them has to be completely booted and have something stupid for Mania. But I'm looking at Cena and Punk up on this graphic, and I'm like, this is so... Why are they both in this fucking match? Like, it just magnified, it amplified the botch from Hunter Helmsley. And then it didn't even end there. Punk and Sami share mutual respect. And then Kevin Owens attacks Zayn from behind and hits his package pile driver. And that's how we go off the air. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are fighting again in 2025. And that's WrestleMania 42. That's Hunter Hearst Helmsley's WrestleMania 42. Last night, this is what we got. Whether it ends up being this or this, it doesn't matter. Last night, what we got was Rhea and Charlotte teasing a Mania match, which is a rematch of a rematch of a rematch, which is also a match we've already seen at Mania. That's what you got last night. Charlie and Rhea teasing a match. You got Jason Uso and Gunther teasing what will be their match, which is a rematch of a rematch. We just saw it a week and a half ago at Saturday night's main event, by the way, which nobody cared about. And you had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, which is a rematch of a rematch of a rematch 941 times. If you didn't watch Raw, and I know a lot of you guys don't, you just listen to BC, and if it's good, if I'm talking it up, you'll go back and check it out. If it's bad, you say thank you, BC, for saving us the time. That's what happened last night, guys. We just teased a bunch of matches we've already seen before. And I can't even tell you that the storylines this time around are fun. Raw sucked again. If you're wondering why or how Netflix has lost half of their global viewership in just 1 month, and during WrestleMania season, mind you, this is how. They're hoping they're going to get a bump from the Royal Rumble post-show. They could. They're not touching that 6 million global again. Not for a long time, if any. Not with this type of booking. That's what I got for you guys, man. Until next time, and there will be that next time. That has been your Raw review for 2/3/25. A lot of content coming up this week, man. A lot more to be discussed. And we will do that a full week of amped up right here on the channel. Thank you guys, man. Channel members, salute. Let me give you guys a proper salute. Channel members, keep kicking ass, stay amplified, rock those cards out. Gold, diamond, and VIP Coffee Club. Smash the up, of course. Do all the things. Hopefully in this upload, all of the super thanks super chats were given a shout out. Hopefully we did that in post edit. That's it. More coffee, more ass whoopings, man. Till next time, there will be that next time. 44 dive. That's a wrap. BC in the unit saying check you. Salute.